Know this, no history is more powerful than the history that you live. So today I'm in Central Park. I am going to visit the Say Their Name exhibit that was created by the San Diego African American Museum of Fine Arts. Now, this exhibit is located in what was known as Seneca Village. Started around 1825. I just wanted to stop right here right now to show you what and where and who lived in New York. So let's go for a walk and see what life looked like or looks like now, and imagine what it looked like in 1825 before African American people were allowed to vote, but yet they were able to own property here. So I'm here in Central Park, but before it was Central Park, it was known as Seneca Village, as I was saying earlier. And what you see here, that is Central Park, was not grown naturally, okay? This was marshy, this was swampy. However, we had many families, and yes, I'm saying we, because I consider those who were here family for reasons other than DNA. So we see here that Central Park had a section known as Seneca Village from, like, say 85th Street and the west side to 81st Street. And when you come here, you have plaques here.
Enjoy yourself.
Thank you. With the history lesson that I'm giving here, the life lesson, and they actually stopped me to let me know where to go to make sure I got information to be able to share with you. I'll be back. Stay tuned. Eminent domain kicks in to allow to allow private land to be used for the public. So the people who were here, lived here, owned the land here, had to sell the land for pennies on the dollar, and they had to move. Had to move for this to be created. For whom? Not for they, not for them, not for those who were owners, but for whom? Again, I'm going to leave that blank. So not only were the residents here of Seneca Village displaced, not only were they evicted, they also lost the opportunity of the vote, which would not reappear again in this country for people of African descent, for men, until the 15th Amendment. Could you imagine this being your backyard? Could you imagine this being where your children played? Could you imagine this being where you worshiped? But the government said, you gotta go. I'll be back. So here's another plaque, and here you can see the map that outlines where the residents of Seneca Village lived. Here is where you'll see a description of historical records, but there really aren't many. There are maps, there are shoes, there are buttons, there are a variety of articles that have been found, but you don't see handwritten, well, you do see handwritten records of the census. You don't really have access to other information of proof of life here. So I'm going to leave that for you to discuss. How easy it is to have a group of people disappear with little to no evidence of them ever existing. Focus here, the name Seneca Village. And again, this isn't a clear view. I challenge you to stop, look. How fabulous it is, isn't it, that there are these markers that are here that describe Seneca Village, the community. I'm paying attention to word choice. Community significance happened Here's a map. And here is handwriting. This is what's called a primary source. This is information. So this explanation is that there were some residents who protested the city's acquisition. Again, word choice, acquisition. What's another word you can use besides acquisition when the term eminent domain is being used, the legal term? I wouldn't choose acquisition. I'd choose a different word. But again, I'm going to challenge you to think through this process. Here's a timeline. Here's a timeline. Here's a timeline. Here's a timeline. Pay attention to time. It waits for no one. It's important to start at the beginning, and it's also important to start at the end and work your way up. Sometimes that's described as thinking with the end in mind. When you think with the end in mind, you think about what your end product wants to be, what you want it to be, and then what are the steps that you take to help you get there. So when you look at timelines, I'm just going to make a suggestion. Read it from top to bottom. Here's additional information about All Angels Church. And on this plaque, it lets you know that there was more than one denomination who came together. And the wondering is, there are some stones that are here, and the word used on the plaque was speculation. If any of these stones were part of the foundation of one of the churches that was here. There are stones that are here. It's important to walk in the steps, right? As Atticus Finch says in To Kill a Mockingbird, when walking in someone else's shoes. And again, I'm going to leave that open-ended for A, you to pick up To Kill a Mockingbird and read it for yourself, or B, sit, wonder, and ponder. But you can see remnants. And there's a book that I read every day that talks about a remnant shall remain. Be back. As I'm walking through this section of what is today known as Central Park, I can't help but notice these plaques on the benches. Can you see them? These plaques on the benches? Yes? No? Well, if not, I'm going to read. A much-loved uncle, remembering you forever. And there's, this bench is endowed. The Adopt a Bench program enables Central Park Conservancy to care for Central Park's 9,000 benches and surrounding landscapes. In honor of, in memory of a kind and loving soul, your family loves and misses you. You know what I'm looking for? You know what I'm wondering if there exists here? In memory of Grandma. All this and heaven too from your loving grandchildren. And here we see another dedication for someone who loves this park with his girls. I have yet to see a dedication for a name, for a child, for a family who lived in Seneca Village. Be they German, be they of African descent, be they of Irish descent. Because these families live together here. Let's see, there's another one. Happy birthday. It's not where you are, but who you're with. I pause. Sometimes there's no marker, there's no sign. However, there is this sign. New Yorkers, We keep your 843-acre backyard clean and green thanks to your support. Help us care for Central Park. That's a nice sign. Amongst the green, and there's Central Park West. That's down here at the intersection. Can you see the sign? Central Park West. I'm looking for a sign that says Seneca Village West, Seneca Village East. Here once was. Maybe it's here, I just haven't come across it yet. I'm not saying it's not, but just based on what I see. Was this a foundation of one of the homes of one of the churches of those who lived here for just a few years, from the 1820s to the 1850s? And then after that, we have this beautiful green tapestry that today we call Central Park, that has placards that tell you about no one's name but a group of people who lived here. Just think. Just think. What could have been had they not? Just a closer walk as I'm walking from 85th down to 81st. Just a closer walk. And despite the noise of the traffic and despite the sounds of the pedestrians and the bikes and I get to stop, look, and listen. And say, sometimes it's not okay. Stop, look, and listen. Okay. But we do have the option of saying, it's not okay. I just want to leave you to think. I just want to provide an opportunity to absorb, to digest, to have an understanding. And when we talk about Sankofa and Sankofa Strong, we find our strength and our perseverance and our intent, our intentional moves to go back and study our ancestors and learn from them. This isn't the first time. We've been here before. And our ancestors know. So to them I say, with them I say, stop, look, and listen. Okay? Sankofa Strong. Today, I challenge you, how will you demonstrate? How will you motivate? How will you be Sankofa Strong tomorrow? Stop, look, and listen, and make a determination if it's okay.